Hi, I would like to talk a little bit about how I would like you to prepare your work you turn in class. I would like you to use college rule paper. We call it letter size college rule paper. That the holes will be on the left, usually 3 holes, and there is usually a very faint red line on the left-hand side and lines across. And the size of this paper is 8.5 by 11 inches. So if you're unsure, you can look at the paper on the outside for the dimensions, 8.5 by 11, or you can take your ruler like I have. So when you begin working on your paper, make sure the holes are on the left-hand side. And I want to show you some examples of some papers that are handed in class that are not quite right, but they're really close. One of the things I would like you to do is, if you do have paper that comes in a notebook where they have these spiral edges, these little holes, and you have to rip them out of the notebook, make sure to take off this fringe here. Either you have to cut them off, or sometimes there's a little line where you can tear them off. Make sure not to include these as part of your paper. I would like you to always write your name, the class name, and the date on all of your work. For example, in this paper, that the name of the student, Gary Sosa, is here, and the name of the class, ESL 302, and the date. Oftentimes it's not good enough just to put your first name, since there might be more than one Gary in the class, so it's good to put your second name, your last name. And you may want to also put a title. So it may be the teacher didn't give you a title, but you can always call it homework. And when you begin the first exercise, do not begin on the first line, but on the second line down. And you begin numbering on the left-hand side of the margin line. And as you see that I'm skipping lines before I put the next number. So that's also important to do. Let's take a look at what some other students have done. Here, this student, they did number correctly, but they began writing on the very first line. So it's not a terrible thing, but it makes it a little bit easier for teachers to read once you begin numbering a couple lines below, especially if you have a title. And in this paper too, there is a name up here and there's a date. So it would be nice to have the name of the class. In this paper, there is the name on the left-hand side. Some teachers will ask you to put it on the left-hand side. I like to see the name of the class, and the date on the right-hand side, because sometimes I keep all your papers in a folder and this part of the paper, the left-hand side of the paper, is covered up. So here, this student, they began on the very top line. It would be good to begin the 2 lines down. And this student, they began actually writing the sentence on the left-hand side of the margin. So you always want to begin on the right side of that red line. Let's take a look at this other paper. Also, this paper looks like it's been pretty well formatted. The name is here, though it would be nice again to have the name as well as the name of the class and the date. This paper is double spaced, but there is no numbering system, so it would be good to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And this paper here has the fringe we were talking about, this stuff here that you can actually pull out. Let's see if we can do that. it's hard to do it. Yeah, I can't do it right now. I need 2 hands. But there is a faint line there that you can fold over and tear off. There's a name on this paper, but that's it. This paper needs the name of the class and the date. Here, there is no double space, nor is there any numbering. So again, I would like all your work to be turned in 8.5 by 11 college rules size paper, that your name, the class, and the date in the right hand corner, if possible to put a title, and to begin your first exercise 2 lines below, beginning with number 1, and as you number to double space or skip lines. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.